Tonight, the party,
get drunk, party on the streets, go to house parties and stuff.
And the problems.
They're destroying private property, but they don't care.
It leaves us as citizens trapped in our own homes.
The tally on St. Patrick's celebrations so far in Waterloo's University District. Keeping eyes on the crowds.
It just seems extra. It's like, are they really expecting something that bad to happen?
The rationale for a police sniper on a rooftop.
It's not unusual at all to have a tactical team in the background watching from a good viewpoint.
And the reaction. Plus, a Kitchener connection.
And the Oscar goes to The Girl Who Cried Pearls.
To an Oscar-winning film.
And we just went, wow! You know, it was pretty cool.
The long journey of an animated short produced right in our backyard. Good evening. We begin with pre-St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Waterloo's University District on the weekend. Police anticipated the partying, and they shut down streets which have been notorious for crowds. But students found ways around it, damaging property and upsetting residents. CTV's Spencer Turcotte begins our coverage.
They may have been fenced in, but the festivities continued.
Come here, get drunk, party on the streets, go to house parties and stuff.
It didn't start out that way, though.
Yeah, it's a little empty right now.
It took a while for things to turn up on Saturday in Waterloo's University District. Some even asking CTV News where the party was at.
I don't see so many people outside. Yeah, what are you guys saying? Like, are you guys having a good time?
Street party veterans weren't worried, despite efforts from police to shut down streets like Ezra Avenue.
I think the party's still going to go on.
While it took some a bit to warm up, others were well on their way early on.
I'm on camera, so I'm not going to make it hot, but I'm trying to indulge right now, you know what I'm saying? So.
Then, by late afternoon, the unsanctioned street parties ballooned along Marshall Street. Sporting their festive neon green vests, the police presence grew along with the crowds. Partygoers thanked the luck of the Irish for bringing the sun out and the hundreds of people.
Troy, why do you think it's so popular here?
Because of the culture.
But residents living at Oakwood Manor, surrounded by the massive crowd, say that culture has to stop.
They're destroying private property, but they don't care.
Those living in the apartments say they saw countless people urinating in the parking lot, leaving bush lights in a bush, even jumping over and knocking down fences around the property.
I told the one, I hope you get your balls caught.
It leaves us as citizens trapped in our own homes for every day. What is it, 4 times a year they do this, or 3 times a year?
Yeah.
St. Patty's, homecoming, whatever it is.
They were coming, stepping on people's cars.
Some relief finally came around dinner time when police shut the parties down and people flocked to bars in Uptown. But with Tuesday being the real deal,
no, happy St. Patty's!
These residents hope it's not a sequel to what they experienced on the weekend. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Waterloo.
In addition to officers on the ground, this year many people also noticed a police sniper on top of a nearby building. Photos and videos began circulating online. Waterloo's mayor even admitting she was surprised to see the deployment of a sniper. CTV's Karis Mapp joining us now live in the University District along Marshall Street. Karis, what are police saying about their decision to deploy this kind of a plan?
Well, Tony, the building where the officer was stationed is actually just right behind me. And tonight, Waterloo Region's police chief said, given how many large gatherings in North America have involved mass casualties, this type of response was all part of their plan to get eyes on the crowd and keep everyone safe. This is one of many videos circulating social media showing a sniper on the balcony of a building near the unsanctioned St. Patrick's Day gathering, a precaution some students say they still don't understand.
It just seems extra. It's like, are they really expecting something that bad to happen?
Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe told media on the weekend that she was also surprised and shocked to see the scoped weapon deployed. Waterloo Regional Police confirming several initiatives were employed to ensure everyone's safety, including barriers and tactical officers positioned in elevated locations. Former Ontario Provincial Police Commissioner Chris Lewis said he agrees with Regional Police's use of the sniper.
It's not unusual at all to have a tactical team in the background watching from a good viewpoint and being prepared to support the public order officers.
In an emailed statement to CTV News on Monday, Mayor McCabe said she has since spoken to Police Chief Mark Kroll and now has a more fulsome understanding of the plans in place. Experts say it's up to police forces to determine their plans and what to share.
You don't call politicians and tell them, here's what we're going to do tomorrow when we hit the Outlaws or Hells Angels clubhouse, or we're going to arrest a murderer.
Annalise Meerton is an exchange student from Australia at the University of Waterloo. She said it was unnerving to see the tactical officer looking down on the crowd.
I looked up and there it was on top of the building looking down. There were 3 police officers and only 1 sniper, I believe. And my initial reaction was just, oh my goodness.
Meerton says while she's heard about Waterloo's infamous St. Patrick's Day celebration, she wasn't expecting it to be so heavily policed.
Given the unrest in the world at the moment and looking up and seeing a sniper, I was like, oh, do they think there's a reason that they need a sniper? And that definitely caused some nerves.
But Lewis says it's always better to be prepared.
That doesn't mean that they're intending on shooting people in the crowd. It's just a preparatory issue. In worst case scenario, they have the ability to make that judgment call.
While some students say they understand the need for the sniper,
God forbid, like, there was like a shooter or something. Like, I guess, yeah.
Others still believe it was unnecessary.
Oh, it seems really extra. Like, is something that bad like actually gonna happen? I thought we lived in a relatively safe area.
Though much of the partying happened on Saturday, tomorrow is the 17th, which actually is St. Patrick's Day. So, the city of Waterloo is reenacting its community safety event, which puts a parking ban on much of the university district. And Mayor McCabe said she'll be checking back in with Waterloo Regional Police in the near future just to learn more about the details surrounding the celebrations. Tony.
All right, sounds good. Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp reporting live from Marshall Street in the University District tonight. Time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in studio on this Monday. A little bit of a roller coaster ride as far as the weather goes. Thought I would do okay when I left the house today, dressed lightly, but boy, over the noon hour, things really started to get colder.
You got it, Tony. A quick, sharp turn. Return to winter, Environment Canada is calling it, and it certainly felt that way. About 10 a.m., we had about 12 degrees, and then it quickly dropped and will continue to drop over the next few hours. For your St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, you're going to want to bundle up. Looking at a special weather statement issued by Environment Canada, we're expecting strong winds, wind gusting between 70 and 90 kilometers per hour, and that is expected to last into Tuesday. So it will be a cold start to the day. As we look to our satellite radar, all that precipitation we saw over the weekend has now pushed east and north. We are seeing a few bands of cloud cover. We're expecting some flurries overnight tonight, but right now, 1 degree. We are sitting at a very comfortable west by southwest wind at 32 kilometers an hour. It is starting to feel cooler than that, though, already dipping to around -5 with the wind chill, Tony. So what I would say is we're going to need some winter-like clothing, but spring is just a few days away.
Haven't put the scarf or the boots away just yet. Ash, thank you very much. Police are investigating a suspicious fire that's shut down the Walmart store at Bridgeport Plaza in Waterloo. Emergency services were called to the store around 10 last night. Police say there was a fire somewhere in the store, but they didn't say where or how it started. The extent of the damage isn't clear at this time, but the store has been temporarily closed. Tonight, Walmart telling CTV News they consider this an act of arson and that the store will reopen as soon as cleanup and repairs are complete. Weeks after a convicted child killer was temporarily released into a GTA community, there is fresh outrage tonight. That's because newly obtained documents show it may happen again, not once, but twice more. CTV's Allison Hurst explains.
Convicted killer Darren Scott Ray has 2 more passes for unescorted temporary absences from prison, granted by the Parole Board of Canada. He was approved for 3 and already used 1 in Oshawa.
This is very reckless. This is really a betrayal of public trust. I'm really furious.
The 65-year-old was sentenced to life in prison for the sexual assault and murder of 14-year-old Darren Pippin in March 1986, whose body was found wrapped in a blanket in the garbage room of Ray's apartment building.
I have a son who's near the same age as the victim, and I read the report. I'm absolutely horrified at the crimes that this individual committed.
These mothers, along with Durham Regional Councillor Chris Leahy, are calling on the Ministry of Public Safety to review this parole board decision.
Murderers should not be allowed to run free in our community where our children are playing.
On March 2nd, Durham Regional Police posted this release warning the public high-risk offender Ray had been released on unescorted temporary absence for 72 hours.
Our community shouldn't be a dumping ground for criminals.
According to Ray's parole board decision, the criminal profile report also refers to prior sexual offending behavior against a former partner and a young victim over whom you held a position of trust. However, no charges were laid in relation to these matters. It adds that your history of community supervision has not been without issue, as you have a prior conviction of breach of probation.
It is my strong belief that child murderers should never be allowed out of prison.
The decision goes on to say that the psychologist for your most recent risk assessment in October 2025 concluded that there are no current behavioral or mental health concerns that would preclude unescorted temporary absence eligibility, and that UTAs are the next logical step in a gradual reintegration process from a clinical perspective. Given Ray is still considered a high-risk offender, though, criminal defense lawyer Joseph Newberger says that will impact his temporary release.
He has had a residential facility, which is essentially an extension of correction services. So he's going to be there. There's going to be a curfew. He has to have check-ins. He'll be let out only for specific times for specific tasks.
Leahy is urging everyone to sign his petition demanding the decision be rescinded.
And that report from CTV's Allison Hurst. Well, it's the first day of March break for many local students, and the region is filled with activities, paid and free, both educational and for pure enjoyment. CTV's Colton Weens has been taking a look at some of those for us tonight. You got to check out some fun activities today, Colton.
Yeah, that's right, Tony, I did. There was lots going on in Kitchener. Kids put on their chef hats and made some pizzas, while in Cambridge, kids were protecting the Hanmoon, fighting off demons, and learning about butterflies. And that's all a part of the fun to kick off this March break. March break at Clemens Mill Library in Cambridge, kicking off a week of activities. Today's theme, a K-pop demon hunter adventure with an obstacle course, microphone making, sushi rolling, and of course some face paint.
Over and under, hop over, and avoid the rips in the Hanmoon and the demons. And then all of the stations, a lot of them are literacy based, whether it is math skills, reading skills. So we do bring in a little bit of that into each activity.
We didn't really have anything to do, and I just wanted to come here because I saw that we could come here. Because it's K-pop Demon Hunters theme, and I love K-pop Demon Hunters. Because I wanted to get my face paint.
Themed events are happening every day this week at all Cambridge Library locations, offering a variety of free activities focused on sensory, fine motor skills, or dramatic play.
We had families lined up before we opened this morning, even in the rain, so we're really grateful that they were so enthusiastic to come here today.
Isn't that crazy? It looks like a leaf.
Also in Cambridge this week, the Butterfly Conservatory has extended hours, and they've brought in extra morpho butterflies. Around 3,000 different butterflies are flying around. It's recommended you buy tickets online in advance.
Landing on heads and shoulders. You can also do a little scavenger hunt while you're here to learn more about the morpho butterfly. And we have lots of really cool insects to bring out, and people can hold and touch them and learn more about other insects from tropical environments too.
Can you stretch a big circle now?
And at certain Domino's pizza locations this week, kids can make their own pizza for just $5.
You could add toppings on, and you get to put it in the oven. I made Hawaiian pizza because it's my favorite pizza.
From noon until 3 every day this week, kids can make a pizza at any Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, New Hamburg, Paris, or Elmira location, and proceeds will be going to the Food for Kids program.
It's fun, obviously. They get a store tour. They get to play with the dough, put their own toppings on. It's something that it sounds like they talk about for a long time, and we have a lot of repeat guests come back.
So just the first day of March break, but lots of activities, both free and paid, are happening all over the region. We've also got a list of some of the other events happening this week on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca, for all that info. Tony.
Looks like those ones were big hits today, according to the experts, the kids in the story. Colton, thanks so much. CTV's Colton Weens reporting live. And if you're looking for things to do on March break, as Colton was mentioning, our digital team has got you covered. All kinds of events, including free, family-friendly events. That's all over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Should you be allowed to pack pepper spray for self-defense? Coming up, Premier Ford's new wish list to try to crack down on crime in this province.
Well, cold and snow is headed our way for overnight conditions, but what will spring feel like? We're just a few days away. That and your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Premier Doug Ford today outlined a wish list of changes to crack down on crime in Ontario. For example, allowing everyone to carry pepper spray for self-defense. But critics say much of what he's calling for is not realistic. We get more from CTV's Siobhan Morris.
It's used by police to keep crowds under control. Its deployment can clear out schools. Now the Premier wants the federal government to allow you to pack pepper spray for self-defense.
Let's say a woman's leaving a job at night and walking home. She needs something to defend herself.
The Trudeau government shut down a similar request from Alberta 5 years ago. Ontario's Association of Chiefs of Police say they weren't consulted on this one.
I think it's a threat to policing and the safety of policing, but the bigger issue is the threat to the public.
Lewis worries about well-intentioned people hurting themselves and putting a weapon
in the hands of a whole pile of people that have no intentions of defending themselves. They just wanted to assault others.
Those who teach women to protect themselves and trust their intuition admit many already carry canisters.
I think it's a good idea. Do I think it's a magic wand? No, but honestly, we're taking baby steps.
Pepper spray, just one item on the Premier's wish list for the federal justice minister. When it comes to those arrested for sexual assault,
why are we not taking DNA samples from them immediately?
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association points out an arrest is not the same as a conviction.
So it is concerning that people who are presumed innocent are going to have their DNA automatically collected.
Frustrated at some accused criminals getting bail, Doug Ford proposes to live stream hearings, part of what he sees as measures to keep judges honest.
We need to create an anonymous regional dashboard to identify bias, promote accountability, and restore public confidence.
Rahim counters bail hearings aren't cloaked in secrecy, but designed not to taint a trial.
If this is going to become a tool to publicly shame certain justices, for example, for making decisions that the Premier does not like, well, that's a very dangerous threat to the rule of law and judicial independence.
That story from CTV's Siobhan Morris at Queen's Park. And turning to health news, with many families heading to sunnier destinations for March break, experts say it's important to pack along some preparations, keeping health and wellness in mind.
As a physician, there are 4 things that I really see quite commonly when people travel, especially if they're traveling to the Caribbean or Mexico. So I see people with infectious diseases, traveler's diarrhea, insect bites, and of course sunburns. If you have a chance, now's a really good time to make sure that you're up to date on all your vaccines. Measles is still out there. We have cases that go to popular destinations and come back with measles.
Dr. Nicola Mercer joined Leanne for a discussion on prevention. You can watch the full interview over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Okay, a live shot from outside our studios in Kitchener's Sports World area. We've had that dreary look in the sky all day, and it's been pretty windy too over the last 24 hours. It's still looking a little windy out there right now. We can see those trees outside our station swaying in the breeze, and we're going to be cold tonight, a lot colder than what we woke up to start the day with, that's for sure. Ashley's back in just a couple of moments with our forecast. And later in the show, the local business that's giving satisfaction by what it's taking away. A look at this beauty bar on this week's edition of Made Right Here. And next, President Trump's plea to get oil moving again through the Strait of Hormuz as the Iran war continues to have a ripple effect around the Middle East. Ashley's back with a look at the weather, and I don't want to be negative and talk about how dreary it was today, so I want to offer an observation.
Okay.
That wind last night, I was driving from our Scarborough studios back to Waterloo Region, and it was one of those kind of nights where you felt like you were going to possibly get knocked off the highway by the wind. It was intense.
Absolutely, and it's not any better today. We are, well, we have about a 30-kilometer-an-hour wind right now, but expecting gusts up to 90 kilometers over the next few hours.
And I think because when I got home, I was curious, and I looked at my phone and went, what are the gusts right now? I think it was between 80 and 90 when I was heading down the highway last night.
Absolutely. So get prepared, Tony, because your drive home tonight might feel very similar. And, you know, as we take a look back outside at King and Urban Waterloo tonight, it doesn't look too bad at this point. We are expecting, as I said, wind and cloud cover to continue into the overnight hours. We will see some flurry activity, expecting around 5 centimeters of snow to fall overnight. Now, we just had an email in from one of our viewers asking about the snowfall record, and we are waiting for Environment Canada to get back to us, but they've been incredibly busy, as you can imagine, with all of the crazy storms that are happening across Ontario today. So we will have to wait a little bit longer to find out if we've met or broken that record for snowfall, but it is on our radar, so we are going to let you guys know as soon as we know. Taking a look at what's happening for today, though, snow squall warning in effect, an orange warning, 20 to 40 centimeters of snow expected. Southern Georgian Bay, Mount Forest, Aurelia, Wyerton, you're going to see continued snow throughout the night. Of course, with all of that heavy wind that's expected, near zero visibility is possible with that blowing snow. So if you have to head out, make sure you check Ontario 511 before doing so, just in case there's any road closures. Just to reiterate what we talked about earlier, wind gusts 70 to 90 kilometers an hour. That, of course, is brought in with a sharp Arctic cold front. So those temperatures taking a drastic turn this afternoon. This is what we're seeing right now. Not too much in Waterloo Region. We're getting some spotty flurries. That's going to continue to push through the overnight hours. We will, as I said, see about 5 centimeters of snow fall in Waterloo Region through the overnight, and around another 2 tomorrow. So that band of precipitation will linger. It's not going to be too heavy. We will actually see some clearing at times, but for the most part, we will just have some spotted flurries over the next day or so. What's happening right now across the country, starting on the west coast, a very nice 10 degrees in Victoria. Over the Rockies, it is right at the freezing mark in Edmonton. As we look through the prairie provinces, -8 for Regina and Saskatoon, -16 in Thompson. What I'm seeing, not a lot of sunshine on this board. It is a very dark and dreary afternoon in all of the region, and all of Canada, rather. -11 in Thunder Bay. Comfortable in Ottawa, sitting at 7 degrees. Over on our east coast in St. John's, -3 in cloud cover. A little closer to home, we're sitting at 1 degree now in Kitchener, Waterloo, but it's starting to feel a little cooler with the wind chill. We're feeling around -5 at this point. Temperatures overnight expected to continue to drop. -10 is the expected overnight low, feeling closer to -21 with that wind chill. So if you are headed out overnight tonight, and especially if you're headed out for some St. Patrick's Day festivities tomorrow, make sure you bundle up. You're going to want to. -7 is the expected high for tomorrow. We are likely to feel wind chills near the -21, 22 mark when we first wake up in the morning. So do be extra cautious. Looking at our 7-day forecast, starting Waterloo Region, by Wednesday, temperatures will rebound slightly. -2 is the expected high with some cloud cover before a mix of rain and snow move in at the tail end of the work week. Looking at Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar there. It's going to be a cold Tuesday for you. St. Patrick's Day, 2 2 degrees by Wednesday, but look at Thursday and Friday, 10 and 13. So temperatures really getting into those spring-like conditions by the end of the week. And in southern Georgian Bay, you're going to see 5 centimeters of snow tomorrow. -8 is the expected daytime high. Temperatures getting a little bit better by Wednesday, but by Thursday, back in the plus zone. So not too bad there. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher photo sent in from Bill over the weekend of this beautiful sunrise. A reminder that even in cold winter weather, it's, take time to appreciate the world around us a little bit.
It certainly is a good thing to do. Now, I can't help but wonder if -22 tomorrow is going to have an impact on the number of people who are, for example, outside.
I mean, we just got through an incredibly cold winter, Tony. So I think if that sun makes even the slight appearance, it won't deter too many folks.
All right. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
That's a cop-out phrase, but time will tell, that's for sure. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
As the Iran war reverberates around the Middle East, U.S. President Trump is urging other nations to step in and get oil tankers moving again through the critical Strait of Hormuz. CTV's Heather Wright brings us the latest on the conflict.
Smoke billows from an industrial site near the Dubai International Airport, the result of a drone attack earlier today. It's the latest example of Iran's use of asymmetrical warfare, which includes inexpensive drone attacks like this one and leveraging pinch points like the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. is asking its allies to help open the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's foreign minister said today. From our perspective, it's only closed to our enemies and their allies. With oil prices skyrocketing, U.S. President Donald Trump is under pressure to get tanker ships moving. He has called on NATO allies and countries like China to provide military support in order to reopen the strait. It's not our war, we didn't start it, is how Germany's foreign minister responded to the request, the most pointed refusal. Japan, Italy, Australia, and Canada have also said they will not participate.
Canada's not involved in the prosecution of this war, and Canada has no intention of being involved in the prosecution of this war.
I find the request kind of misplaced.
University of Istanbul professor Kıvanç Ulusoy says he's not surprised many countries are turning down requests to help, as the United States never consulted them in the decision to go to war.
The Trump administration did not do almost anything to let's say, to legitimize it, to justify it.
This war is now in its third week, with the death toll in Iran now more than 1,300, according to its health ministry. The death toll in Lebanon also continues to rise as Israel moves more troops into the south in its fight with Hezbollah, which reignited following the killing of Iran's supreme leader. Nearly 900 people have been killed and 2,000 injured in Lebanon since this latest conflict began, with nearly 1 million people displaced.
At this point, there are no peace talks planned between Hezbollah and Israel. And an Iranian official said today they have not requested a ceasefire with the United States and are prepared for what could be a lengthy conflict. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
All right, so that's the latest on the big picture as far as the conflict is concerned. Heather touched on that request from U.S. President Trump regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Well, CTV's Joy Malvin has more now on Trump's tone and how that's impacting relations with allies.
3 weeks into the Iran war that President Donald Trump chose to launch, the president demanding NATO nations come to his aid while mocking some of them.
They weren't that enthusiastic. Well, we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor.
Not a small ask. The Strait of Hormuz is under attack by Iran. Tankers on fire, choking off 20% of the world's oil supply and sending gas prices soaring. The president wants warships to help escort tankers to keep the oil flowing.
We get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. They should be jumping to help us because we've helped them for years.
Trump is frustrated, even disappointed at NATO allies, ripping into the UK and France, saying he's in talks with 7 countries, and it would be very bad for the future of NATO if they don't step up.
Among other mistakes Trump made before undertaking this operation was not consulting adequately with our allies. He also didn't prepare the American people and didn't prepare the Congress. And I say all this as an advocate of regime change in Iran.
The president claims the Iranian regime has been, quote, obliterated, and doesn't know if Iran's new supreme leader is alive or dead.
They're saying that he lost his leg, one leg, and he's been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead.
The president has said the war could be over very soon, but he's also warned the U.S. is not ready to end it either until Iran abandons its nuclear ambitions completely. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Inflation's down, but is it there to stay? Coming up, the warning signals from economists that come with today's new data on the rate of rising prices. Canada's inflation rate cooled more than expected this month, dropping to 1.8%. But economists expect this month's report is likely the dip before the spike. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver explains.
The items on Hanan Alame's charcuterie platters are carefully curated.
This is like my passion.
But creating the beautiful food displays is getting more expensive by the month.
It's been extremely hard. Even like I opened up a year ago, from a year till now, things have skyrocketed. It's been double in price. So even like the meats, the cheeses, the fruits, even gas, because I do deliver as well.
Alame loves what she does, but she has some concerns about the future, a common feeling among small business owners.
Businesses haven't even recovered from the pandemic. Then we move into a trade war. Now we're moving into rising oil prices. The knocks continue. And for some businesses, this is a big threat.
Since the war began in late February, the price of oil has increased 40 to 50%. And economists say that could boost the cost of many goods and services, including food.
If you look at fresh fruits and vegetables that are coming in by truck from the southern U.S. or from Central America, that transportation cost is roughly 10% of the retail price. And so we will see some upward pressure for those products in the month of March.
If the war continues through the spring, economists fear inflation could increase too, making the Bank of Canada's next interest rate decisions more complicated.
There's no way around it. The next numbers will be higher. The question is how the Bank of Canada will then try to signal what it's likely to do. Most likely, right now it'll stay at the level it is, but it'll kind of say, look, we're really watching this. We don't want to get out of control.
The Bank of Canada will make its next rate decision on Wednesday, and many economists expect the bank will hold steady at 2.25%. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Okay, time to recap our top stories. Leanne Evans is in studio with us on this Monday evening as we take a look at St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the University District of Waterloo over the weekend.
Yeah, Tony, police had fenced off Ezra Avenue, but by late afternoon Saturday, the unsanctioned street parties ballooned along Marshall Street. Residents who live in the area were frustrated with the crowds. The police presence grew as well, as even a police sniper could be seen on top of a nearby building. While some were shocked, police say this type of response was part of their plan to get eyes on the crowd and keep everyone safe. Police are investigating a suspicious fire inside a Waterloo Walmart. Crews were called to the store in the Bridgeport Plaza around 10 p.m. last night. Police say there was a fire in the store, but it's unclear how it started. The extent of damage is not known at this time, but no one was hurt. This afternoon, a sign on the door said the store was temporarily closed.
And online, we are looking at the success of the University of Guelph women's hockey team.
Yeah, the Griffins down the Ottawa GGs 2-1 Saturday to claim the Macaw Cup. It's their 8th OUA championship victory, and there's no time to rest with nationals taking place in Elmira later this week. You can read more about the challenge ahead and why it hits close to home. Scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to CTV News Kitchener.ca. Big things for the Griffins there, Tony.
I was just going to say good things for the Griffins. I feel like we'll be talking about a lot of hockey championships in the area this year.
We will.
Especially as the OHL gets toward the playoffs.
Yes,
we'll see.
Exactly. Lots on the go.
Things are heating up. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
A beauty salon in Cambridge is celebrating 10 years of being the go-to spot for hair removal, leaving clients feeling like their best selves when they walk out the doors. We head to Be Bare Beauty Bar on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
Hello, my name is Monica Magro. I am the owner of Be Bare Beauty Bar located in Cambridge. We specialize in laser hair removal, waxing, and electrolysis. So Be Bare has been at this location in Cambridge for about 10 years. We're all licensed here at Be Bare. We've worked hard on building relationships with our customers and our clients. We welcome everyone. I feel like most people would start off with a waxing. They kind of get themselves in the door. They realize how awesome this is to pretty much have several weeks of no hair. But I do feel more than half of our clients do switch over to laser hair removal just because of the less maintenance. So basically with our waxing, we typically have our clients come in monthly. Again, it depends on the person and the hair. Of course, laser hair removal and waxing can be a little uncomfortable, the treatments. We do our best to make it as comfortable as possible. We do offer some numbing creams and gels that you can apply prior to your treatment or can be added at your booking at that time. But with regular visits and being consistent with your treatments, the results are incredible and it just gets easier every treatment. So you'll be very happy. Laser hair removal, the benefits of it is pretty much never having to shave, wax, or do anything on the area. How it works, we have you come in for a consultation. There's no charge for the consult. At that time, we explain everything there is to know about the laser and the process and how it works. We also do provide a patch test. The patch test is to make sure your body can tolerate the light and make sure there's no issues and complications. Basically, we'll clean the area. We apply an ultrasound gel. The gel will give us some glide with the laser. We start your treatment. Most treatments, they can be anywhere from a couple minutes up to, it depends again on the body part. Typically, the sessions are quite quick. You're in and out. Most do reduce anywhere from about 70 to 90%. So yeah, results are impressive. They're amazing. Basically, it depends on the body part. Everyone's a little different, but typically for the face, we have you come in monthly. Anywhere from the neck down, body, you're every 2 months. On average is about 6 to 8 times. We are here to help you and to guide you through your treatments, to make it as comfortable as possible. We have a great team here. We're here to support you, and we're here to make your life easier. So come try us out.
Just ahead, Kitchener's Oscar moment. And then later, a Made in KW series on backyard wrestling gets international recognition. CTV's Spencer Turcotte will tell us about the film that's getting a screening at a major festival in Los Angeles. A big night for Canada at the Oscars. 2 filmmakers from Quebec took home the prize for Best Animated Short Film. The Girl Who Cried Pearls takes place in Montreal, but as CTV's Alexandra Hollick shows us tonight, part of the project was put together right here in Kitchener.
The Girl Who Cried Pearls.
A pearl of great price presented to 2 Montreal filmmakers at the Oscars Sunday. Chris Lavis and Maciek Szczerbowski taking home the top prize for their stop-motion masterpiece.
They glowed, perfect and round.
A story of finding value in sorrow. It's set in 20th century Montreal. A boy living in poverty becomes rich and falls in love with a girl whose tears turn to pearls.
Of all the treasures in this entire room, can you guess which is most precious?
Stratford Festival veteran Colm Fior voices most of the 17-minute puppet production.
Colm was quite free to read the way he wanted to read. He wasn't kind of locked into anything in particular. And then sort of the magic happens.
That magic happens here at Fred Smith Studio in Kitchener.
We pulled it off in about an afternoon and had an enjoyable day. And it was basically a regular day at the office here for me.
Fred Smith has been in the recording business for more than 40 years and has worked with Fior for nearly 3 decades.
It was very good, very intense. They know what they want there. And Colm can deliver exactly what they want.
It would seem someone has discovered my secret.
Smith says it's no secret the studio aims to give the Oscar treatment to all its clients.
we work as hard on that as we do on every single little project or big project that comes in. We don't treat anything any differently.
Offering these pearls of wisdom to aspiring artists.
If you truly believe in what you're doing, then don't let anything stop you from trying to pursue whatever that is that you want to pursue.
And personally, I still find it beautiful.
The Girl Who Cried Pearls is free to watch on YouTube and the National Film Board's website. Alexandra Hullick, CTV News, Kitchener.
And we'll have more news coming up in just a few minutes. First, we want to check in once again with Ashley.
Well, we're expecting strong winds and some snow overnight, but what will your St. Patrick's Day morning look like? I'll have those details just after this break. Stay with us. It's too cold to be out there tonight. Stay in and watch E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory, then Extracted at 8, followed by Memory of a Killer at 9, and cap your night off with The Rookie at 10.
Tomorrow, a W5 exclusive investigation.
It knocks the breath out of you.
Their teenage daughter faces life in prison.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
We reveal the shocking number of young Canadians behind bars in Hong Kong and expose the Canadian recruiters who lured them there.
They're preying on people's innocence and trust.
W5 investigates tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
We're going to check in with Leanne Evans now for some stories our team is watching for later tonight. Leanne.
And Tony, a big announcement from Cam Guthrie, the mayor of Guelph, today. He will not be seeking re-election. We'll find out more about why he's stepping aside and not running in October's municipal election. That's tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, thank you very much. And Ashley's here with our wake-up weather for our Tuesday morning.
Yes, and can you believe it's already St. Patrick's Day? We're just days away from spring already, Tony.
March, I was telling you this earlier, it feels like it's flown by a lot faster than January and February.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
I think a lot of people are ready for the seasons to change. Yes. I mean, if you are on spring break or March break right now, I know Chicopee is certainly up and running and loving this weather right now.
Hoping to stay open till Sunday.
And then, you know what? I think you might be able to. Let's take a look at our alerts board just one more time as a reminder. We're under a special weather statement for strong winds, 70 to 90 kilometers an hour tonight because of that sharp Arctic cold front that's moved on through. When we wake up tomorrow, though, good news is we might see a little bit of sunshine and some flurry activities through the day, but it will be cold. So I can't reiterate it enough. If you're going out to celebrate or if you're just headed out first thing in the morning, you're going to want to bundle up. And of course, with the temperatures dropping, it could mean for some icy surfaces first thing tomorrow morning. So do take care if you're out for a walk on walkways or on the road on roadways, because it could be a little bit of black ice.
Yeah, that's confirmation that spring weather was a tease.
So close. We're so close.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're going to get there. Finally for us tonight, a locally made series that dives into the world of backyard wrestling, and it's now getting international attention. The Ropes was filmed entirely in Kitchener-Waterloo, and it's been selected for screening at the 2026 LA Web Fest.
Now, CTV's Spencer Turcotte meets the cast and crew behind the story, which blends comedy and family drama.
Amazing food on set.
Even when key actors from The Ropes visited CTV Kitchener studios to discuss the series, they couldn't help but bring some backyard wrestling indoors. The story follows a wrestling-obsessed family trying to win back their backyard after losing it in a high-stakes match.
Patriarch of the family decides to bet the backyard against his arch nemesis. So the remainder of the season is them trying to win it back together through different matches as a family and as a community.
The 6-episode dramedy blends family drama with comedy, using Kitchener-Waterloo as the show's backdrop.
Waterloo region has a large wrestling background. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that, but we do have a large indie wrestling community here.
Lead producer Denise Bodan even went to Kitchener Wrestling Studio off the ropes to poach some talent like Bad Nanny.
I can beat people with my cane, with my wooden spoon, may have to take the diaper off, diaper wash my opponent in the face.
But in the series, her character is a sweet librarian by day and a wild wrestler on weekends. She'll be the first to admit acting is just as daunting as wrestling due to the multiple takes.
He picks me up and slams me into the ring. And then they're like, reset. Okay, let's do it again. Pick him up, slam me into the ring. Oh, reset, do it again. I was like, oh, how many times do I have to do this?
Meanwhile, other actors like Jessica Chin King were completely new to the wrestling scene.
I really respect the art of it now. Like, I think it's so cool after working on this series. People are so talented. I don't wrestle at all. I do catfight with Marcella once.
Sean Maris and Marcella Young play the husband and wife duo who are trying to reclaim their backyard ring.
This show is really about family. Family is messy, it's weird, it's the best. And I think that you don't have to be perfect. If you stick together, you can overcome anything.
The series premiered on Bell 5 TV1 in November and has been selected for screening at the upcoming LA Webfest. Despite the wrestling wounds he had to overcome, Maris is hopeful the success of the series will propel the show into a second season.
2 words. I hope. Actually, 3 words. I really hope.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
You know, I wasn't expecting to see my dear
right
chair
now? No.
become a prop there, but that was really cool.
That was really cool. I didn't know we had such a great wrestling community here.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't either. That was very eye-opening, and hey, all the best to them with the film getting international exposure and shining a light on something that clearly a lot of people are paying attention to.
Absolutely, it looked like a lot of fun.
Absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, does give me flashbacks though of the WWF back in the day.
Oh, yes.
Hulkmania.
Okay.
All of the lunch kits and thermoses.
Yep.
And, you know, just the passion that an entire community has for wrestling.
Absolutely. My little brother was big into it.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Hulk era, but I don't know much about wrestling, so I don't want to get anyone mad at me for saying the wrong things.
It's big, and those filmmakers prove it. That's our time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.